This is incredible. 164 years. I have Susan Daynes here, her son Todd Daynes. He's an ophthalmologist. I don't know if he plays the piano or not. But Susan, thank you very much for inviting us over here. But that is remarkable, that many years.
It is remarkable, and we're so proud of the legacy of Daynes music. You know, we've been Steinway dealers for that long, and the oldest family music store, run music store west of New York City.
Wow, and then if we pan across here, there are a lot of Steinways here, and that has been an incredible relationship with that legacy company.
It has been for a long, long time. We've had the Steinway franchise for 164 years, and we right now have 50 pianos here that need to find a home, so we're hoping for...
Well, people probably line up to pick one up.
We hope so.
All right. We want to come this way because we want to get into the history of Daynes music a little bit. Now, Susan, this is, what, your office?
This is Skip's office.
Skip's office. Now, Skip is Susan's husband. He passed away a little less than 2 years ago. And what an awesome man he was and what he did for this company.
He did. He was a giant in the music industry. And I don't think anybody could ever top what he did in all those years. He's amazing.
Okay, let's talk about the history, Todd. I'm sure that you're somewhat aware of that too. Absolutely. Even you're just a young guy. But this business actually started, or got its start, as settlers were coming across the plains, right?
Yeah. So John Daynes, a pioneer, crossed the plains with his son Joseph, and they got to the valley here. John decided that he'd open a music store, which became Daynes Music Company in 1862. His son, Joseph, became the first Mormon tabernacle organist. Now, the fun thing here is...
Let's take a look at this. There is an organ here in the corner. Come this way. Tell us about the history of this. It was actually carried across the plains, right?
This was the first organ this side of the Mississippi River, and carried across the plains by John and his son Joseph, who also had this little concertina over here that he played to entertain the saints as they crossed the plains. So this is amazing history, an amazing artifact that our family treasures.
Oh, I'll bet. Does it still work?
You know, my dad never let me touch it, so I don't know. I don't think it does. I think it needs some pumps. They have these pumps in the back, and I think we need to figure out how to replace them to get it to work, but it would if we got the pumps.
Yeah, that truly is amazing. Now, Brigham Young took notice of what we're seeing here, right?
Correct. So when the pioneers gathered at the city and county building, he recognized Joseph's talent immediately, sent him back to New York to train to become the first tabernacle organist. And he served at that position for decades. And many of the LDS hymns that you can look, including Come Listen to a Prophet's Voice, were composed by him.
Yeah, that is truly amazing. So we're into how many generations here, Susan?
Skip was the 4th generation to run the store. Todd would be the 5th generation if the store would be to continue. So that's a long time.
This is, I don't even know if you would call it bittersweet. Maybe it's just kind of sad to see this come to an end. Why did you, the family, decide, well, this is the end of the road?
You know, our children aren't running this store. I mean, Todd's an ophthalmologist. My son does something else. He has a profession, and we really didn't have anybody to carry on the tradition of the family business. So we felt like it was time to maybe close the store. It's a very hard decision for us. There's no question. We love the store so much, and but we're hoping that the legacy of Daynes music will last forever.
Well, you've done so much in the community when it comes to music and education. I mean, you can go to all the universities, the hospitals around here. There's the influence of Daynes music.
Absolutely, Skip. We've donated pianos to all the hospitals. There's a big, beautiful 7-foot Steinway at the University Hospital. There's pianos at Primary Children's Hospital. We support the Gina Bach Hour. We take pianos for their concerts. We do for the Choral Arts Society. We do for the Moab Music Festival. So many, so they all have the opportunity to play wonderful instruments like Steinways.
Well, we thank you for everything that you've done for the community. It's quite a legacy here. Okay, we have a lot more coming up through the morning. You mentioned the Choral Arts Society of Utah. Well, guess who's here?
Sterling Paulson.
Sterling will join us a little bit later, but it is incredible to hear the stories of this great company and the great people behind it. So I'll toss it back to you guys right now, and we'll see you a little bit later. Kerwin Ibsen, he's the CEO, and of course Susan Daynes, and what a family tradition here. And you've been with them for what, 39 years?
39 years.
Okay, we want to do a little famous walk here. You have all kinds of people who have played your Steinways. Okay, give us a tour.
So this is kind of the Hall of Fame of Steinway artists, but what's fun is the ones with the signatures are these famous artists that have been here in our store with us. So starting with Roger Williams, just such a famous name, Misha and his wife, Sipa Dichter. And then moving down, we have Grant Johannesson, famous Utah artist that just became world-renowned. So that's a very tender one for us. We love that one.
I see the 5 Browns there, too.
5 Browns. Ben Clyburn, one of the greatest names in classical music, and had him here. So moving on down, we have Diana.
Well, first of all, take a look at this, Jeremy. This is the original John Daynes log business or log cabin, whatever you call it.
He was a jeweler, but his son Joseph J. started the music business in the back of that jewelry store. So that's where we first began.
Amazing. Okay, so we work our way down here. It truly is incredible with all the people that have come through here, the famous people.
Yeah, Robert Taub, famous mathematician and Steinway artist. Diana Krall, one of the greatest jazz artists, just one of my favorite artists. And then moving on down, we have a wax figure of one of my dearest favorite artists in Utah, Sterling Paulson.
I'm surprised you put that wax figure in your store, though.
How could we not?
Well, okay. And let's come on down here. One that caught my eye, if we can work our way over here, Jeremy. Billy Joel. What's the story with Billy Joel there?
Famous, one of the world's most famous piano men on earth. So how could you not have Billy Joel? And then Harry Connick to the right of him with his signature there. Just another great opportunity to be with him here in the store.
So Billy Joel played one of your pianos here then, right? Okay, and then more fame.
So probably one of the greatest classical artists in the world, Long. And then moving down, I love this one. One of the greatest jazz artists ever, Billy Taylor.
Wow.
And so you could just continue all the way around the wall. Just all of these great musicians, when they came to Utah, where did they come to? Was
Steinway dealer.
Steinway. And so just
and behind us here, of course, we want to pay tribute to Skip Daynes. Maybe we'll have Susan come over here too. And really it was Skip that just kept this alive for so many years as fourth generation Daynes.
He did. His dad was struggling in business, and Skip just took it over when he was we were just married, newlyweds, and he just had that force and that vigor to keep that store going and get him out of debt and on the way, and he's been very successful. He's a giant in the piano industry.
And Skip passed away a little less than 2 years ago. So you have a lot of Steinway pianos here still. How many?
I'm guessing around 40 grand pianos in here right at this moment. Probably the largest collection of Steinways anywhere. So,
and how many years were you a dealer with Steinway, the original Steinway?
The original Steinway agreement was in October of 1873. So that's when the first Steinway came around the Cape, San Francisco, and by ox cart here to Utah.
That is so cool. So what are the plans for the business now? Do you have a targeted date when you're sadly going to close the doors?
Well, we're still trying to decide on how we wind up depending on how the sale goes, but we have the Steinway franchise until April 15th. And after that, we will no longer be Steinway dealers.
And you're probably going to have some pretty good deals on Steinways.
Well, I hope so. And I think what's the most important thing for us is to get those pianos in homes, because that's what Skip would like, and that would be his legacy.
And that's what Skip really focused on.
That's right. That's right. He loved to sell Steinway pianos, and he loved families to be able to have a Steinway in their home. And he made lots of donations in his life for sure.
Right. Well, Susan, thanks so much for having us here today, as well as Kerwin. And we're going to be back about a little less than a half hour from now We're going to see what the Steinway sound like, talk a little bit more about Daynes Music, its contribution to our community, not only selling products, but helping students, universities, high schools, drama departments. You played a big role in that. So send it back to you. We'll be back a little bit later. No doubt about that. We're going to talk about it. We also have the stage set right here. Sterling, I guess, is not a wax figure. He came alive. But we're going to talk with them in a few minutes. We're going to hear the Steinway piano with my beautiful wife, Tracy, in a moment. Back to the history, though. This is Todd Daynes. He's the son of both Susan and Skip. Just a little bit of history here, quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Daynes Music's been an icon in Utah for 160 years. What you're looking at here is some of the ancestors who ran the business. John, who founded it back in 1862, his brother Joseph, the tabernacle organist. What you're seeing, some of these pictures are so iconic because it shows Daynes Music existing when the carriages were drawn by horses. And
you see that right here.
It's really a fun photo, and you can see Daynes right there on that street. And we just celebrate our Utah history, and there's nothing that says music in Utah like Daynes Music, and we're very proud of that legacy.
All right. We want to walk around here really quickly. Tribute to your dad here, and this is his photo, and stands prominently here in your little recital hall.
Yeah, my dad is the face of Steinway piano, and you know, Steinway at his funeral told us that there is no one in the world that has sold more Steinways than my father. And I don't believe he was a really slick, sharp salesperson. He just had a passion for the product. He wanted to have fine pianos in homes all over the state. And so because of that, he offered very good discounts to people so that they could afford to have the pianos. And we thought, as part of his legacy, that we want to continue that, and we want to offer one last great chance of getting that Skip Daynes discount on the Steinway-made piano. And so if you're interested in a piano, this is the only opportunity you'll have in the next spring.
A Steinway piano. Yeah, that's incredible. All right, we're going to go this way now. We're kind of getting our steps in today, right? And we want to come over here and talk to Sterling, because you've had a very close association with Daynes Music, Skip, Susan.
Yes, in fact, Royal Daynes actually started the Days of 47 Pops concert. He was the original. And so it goes in the family all the way up until and Eugene Jalesnik, and then I took over the Pops concert. But Skip would always remind me that you always have a piano for the Days of 47 Pops. And not only that, for all of our concerts, for the holiday Pops, for our fall and spring concert. In fact, sometimes Skip would call me. I don't see you on the schedule yet, but I see you have a concert. Have you got your piano reserved? And so I would get the piano reserved, and it would just show up. And so amazing. I mean, we paid for the moving of it, but that was it. So it was a great donation. The other thing about Skip, it wasn't about the pianos. It was about having kids and education learning music, because he was passionate about the fact that music made people different in their learning processes and everything. That's the brain. And he loved to talk about getting pianos and keyboards and whatever it would take into the schools. And sometimes he'd call me, Sterling, let's go over to this academy, or let's go over to this school. And we would go and talk to the kids, and it was just a delight to be around him, because he was so passionate about kids being educated in music.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And I've heard that similar story time and time again. Susan, we're going to talk to you in just a second. But we've been talking about pianos. We want to hear a piano this morning, and this is my beautiful wife, Tracy. And you've actually been touched by the Daynes family yourself.
Yeah, Skip actually came to my house back in the 90s with Jeff Manukin, whom I used to study piano with, and they put on a mini concert at my house, because I have a Steinway piano too. I didn't actually buy it from him, but he loved it. It was a 1902 Steinway, and you can't go wrong with a Steinway.
Okay, well, let's hear a little bit. At least 20 seconds worth, okay? All right. I love that. I get to hear that in my house about every day, as a matter of fact. Susan, we want to close things out with you. It's probably a sad time that you're seeing this long legacy. Well, the legacy will live on, but the business is closing.
It is sad, and we really are feeling sad about it, but feel good about what we can do and what we can do to keep the legacy going. And if we can get all these 50 Steinways and Steinway designed pianos sold in homes, that'll go on forever and ever, generations for sure. So we're hoping for that, and we are having the sale coming up next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
So.
Well, thanks so much, Susan. Appreciate everything that you guys have done for the community over so many generations. Todd, thank you. Appreciate it. My buddy here, Sterling. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks, Rob.
And we hope that music is a part of your life. It always brings a smile to your face and your ear.